Started the recording, so let me get this going. Let's say good morning, good morning, good morning. Glad to see you. Today it is just July 1st, and it is, let me get the time. There's the time. Just about 8 o'clock, almost there. Here we are at 8 o'clock. It is the Saturday service. I'm glad you're here. I'm Rabbi Brian. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're watching on recording, welcome as well. If you're watching on, let me put the Facebooks and let me say hello to people on Facebook and on YouTube who are watching along live. I have people who are joining me by Zoom. I'm going to flip over to that screen for a second, people to be able to wave. There we are. People who are, there you are, y'all waving. Good morning, good morning. Glad you're here. You could say hello.
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 Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Glad you all are here. I had the last week we were in Sisters, Oregon, a beautiful place, and here's a video I took. This is me in a creek, just relaxing, doing very little, having a great time. I did have a wonderful idea while I was there. I think this is, let me wait for a few more people to join. I have, let's start with review before I give you the epiphany, my new thought on how this is all going to look. But I wanted to do a little bit of review, things that we talked about last week. Here is this was what was sent out at the end of last week's service. Is one, we needn't define ourselves based on what our critics say of us, even if the critic is ourselves. We needn't define ourselves based on what our critics say of us, even if that critic is ourself.
Yes, but that self is a very powerful voice, may I just say.
Aha. Yes, it is indeed. Thank you, Joe. Yeah.
Welcome.
How many of us kind of have learned to believe that voice inside that's criticizing us? I don't even need to ask for a show of hands. We all, right? We all believe that voice in our head that tells us we're not doing enough. I have this radical idea, and let's just try it for 20 seconds. Maybe you're doing enough. 18, 17, 16, 15. Can you imagine that you're doing enough for the next 10 seconds? That yes. You are enough.
But I might not be nice enough.
You might not be nice enough. You might not be kind enough. You might not be. Maybe you are.
Maybe I'm not.
I'm not going to fight with you, Rob.
What's the point then?
Yeah. That reminds me of the thing that Annie said when I told her she had to clean her room. And she said, "Oh, Dad, you silly goose. Of course I don't need to." If you don't fight with someone, it takes the heat out of it, just disappears. We needn't define ourselves based on what our critics say of us, even if that critic is ourselves. It is hard. It is a lifelong struggle for most of us to learn not to listen to the voices in our head that are telling us that we are not enough.
That is very true.
And number 2 from last week was how attached you are to reality going according to your plans affects your peacefulness. How'd we do with that one last week? Anyone have a moment where reality didn't go according to your plans?
No. Everything
that's when it did go according to plans.
Yeah, that's a better question.
Yeah. Perfection.
Isn't that the definition of a new reality?
Yeah, it's hard.
I have a new reality.
Yeah, it's hard that reality doesn't go according to the way we think it should go.
Never.
That's never's I'd say never's accurate.
That reality never goes according to plan? I don't think that's true.
Seldom.
Well,
Seldom?
no. What was said is that reality never goes according to the way I think it should.
Right.
That was the comment. That was the never.
That reality never goes according to your plan?
I know. Well, then you get into the always, never. Just, you should never use always or never. I apologize.
You should never do that. Let me remind us of a very important word. It's a 4-letter word.
Oh, some. Okay.
Some. That
Can be a 3-letter word too.
I could make some into a 3-letter word, but it would be the incorrect spelling of it.
Then it changes the meeting into math.
Then we go into math, and then people start to panic.
I love math.
Do things go according to your plans? And then this was the question we had last week was, let me put that back on. Last week we asked, below what percentage of reality not conforming to your plans do you find unacceptable? Which is a little bit jargoning and the language isn't right. But let me try it in these words. Things go the way that they go. What percentage of things not going according to the way you think they should go do you find upsetting?
Are you asking that question?
I'm asking it. I'll ask it again, and I'll make it a non-rhetorical ask this time.
Okay.
I think I know the answer to this, but put your hand up if you think things should go according to your plan 100% of the time.
Come on.
That's just Maria. Rags,
Rob.
Whoa! That's a lot more. That's a lot more people than I was expecting to have. You think things should go according to your plan 100% of the time? Maria, justify yourself, would you?
As someone who suffers from a lot of anxiety, it would just be a lot easier on me.
Okay, yeah. All right, so let me ask a different. So let me ask: how many of you wish reality went according to your plan 100% of the time?
I do.
Yeah.
How many of you? How many of you think reality should go according to your plan 100% of the time? Do we really think that?
It'd be great.
You're asking.
No, I wouldn't.
I think it would be terrible.
You're using the word think. You're using the word think. Do I think though? Yes. Is it what I actually live by? No, but do I think it in my head that it would be easier for life to go my way?
Yeah, I don't think so. Carol, help us out. Help us out, Carol. Hold on.
There's a wonderful country western song called Thank God for Unanswered Prayers.
Yes.
We don't know what's best for us. And some of the most important things that have happened in our lives were things we did not plan for. And what they have found in terms of complexity theory, and here I can use a little help from Bruce, but basically the idea of complexity thought is when you leave cities alone, they have wonderful neighborhoods. When you decide to set up cities, people are estranged because they have these high-rise buildings. They can't sit on the stoop anymore, and they have no community.
Yeah.
We don't know what's best for us. We should let it happen naturally. We should stop interfering all the time because we really don't know our own deepest good.
Hey, put your ego behind you.
Hold on. Let me hear from Ron. And yeah, I think we're already onto a great idea here this morning. Go ahead, Ron.
If things went 100%, if reality went 100% to my plans, that would eliminate serendipity. And much of my life is the reason my life is full is because of all of the wonderful serendipity I have experienced.
Yeah. There's a quote from Alan Watts who said, he said, the reason, anyone under 13 here, go away. I don't want you to hear the following sentence. Alan Watts said, the reason that sex with a blow-up doll is never satisfying is it the doll will never do anything unexpected.
That's probably not even true.
Okay, don't think too much about this one at this moment. But I think we're getting to a point here is there's the things that we want to go a certain way. We want them to go according to our plan, which is in dialogue with, it's fighting with the fact that we know we can't control everything. Go ahead, Ray.
Well, I think that there's a real difference here. We're talking about thinking instead of wanting. Well, of course, we all want everything we want.
Right.
But if you think about it even just a little bit, that's not how life is.
Yeah.
And so how do we accept those differences?
For example, you might not have wanted to have an surgery.
Surgery, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. But what happened, Ray? You all right?
Yeah, they've gone in and found out my gallbladder was a nasty person and it had given me pains and other things. When the surgeon took it out, he said, "You've been having problems for a while." I said, "No, just a little stomach pain." He said, "Your gallbladder was terribly scarred." So he took it out and threw it away, and I have no energy, but I'm going to get better.
Amen.
And hallelujah for that.
Amen. Not expected, but we're glad you're doing better, Ray. Thank you for telling us. John and then Bruce.
It seems to me if reality always were to go always the way we expected it to or wanted it to, then there are no questions left.
Correct.
We have all the answers. It's time to pack it in.
Right.
Literally.
Right. Wonderful. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, the entire basis of our consciousness is because the things don't go our way. So the entire basis of intelligence is learning how to go with the flow of nature itself. I mean, we might want to grow wheat in the winter, but we figured out that doesn't work, so we do it in the summer. So that's the difference between consciousness and intelligence, and just having everything. If we could do everything we wanted, I'd still be in diapers.
You still have the option to stay in diapers if you want, Bruce. Just
don't tell anybody.
Diapers and beer. We're going to go with Jerry Ann and then Jack.
The only thing about my getting my way all the 100% of the time is that would preclude other people from getting their way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Jerry Ann. Yeah.
Jack. I was one of 6, so you can.
Right. You learn a lot. Jack?
When you put your own ego behind you, you'll find that inner harmony will prevail.
That reminds me of a quote. Hold on. Which I can't find at the moment.
Well, just tell us.
Oh, I want to find it. I found it.
It's a metaphor for this whole lesson.
It absolutely is.
Maybe it's a meta 5.
It should be. There we go.
Thank you, Victor.
For years, I would say, do this and give me that. When I reached the shores of wisdom, I said, God, be mine and do what you want.
Amen.
For years,
Amen.
I would say, do this and give me that. When I reached the shores of wisdom, I said, God, be mine and do what you want. Reality, hey, Bob, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, if everything always went my way, it would be boring, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to experience something new from somebody else.
Amen. That's what we're getting at. Bruce, go back. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, there is, some people who do expect everything to go their way. They expect everything they want. They demand it. And if they don't get it, they throw tantrums. That's the basis of narcissistic personality disorder.
Correct.
Which is a major problem in the world.
Yeah. So this is the question that I've brought in. I said this was in the email. And good morning to the people who are on Facebook and Instagram, I see that they're tagging. Hi, Sherry. Thank you for saying good morning. And Kathleen, glad that you're here. Wonderful. Here's the question is, how do I train myself to remain calm despite what is going on around me? How do I train myself? How do I train myself to remain calm despite what is going on around me? The assumption
I was trying to make earlier is that I don't know how to do that. You see?
Focus on your breath.
Okay, wait. Stop. Slow down. We're going to do this slowly. Joe.
Yes.
Explain what, say that again so I can understand you.
That was the point I was trying to make earlier.
Okay, help me out.
Okay. If I had that skill that you're proposing right there.
To remain calm despite what's going on around me.
Exactly.
You're saying you don't have that skill.
Not a lot of it.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, that's just honest. I don't.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
I wasn't taught it.
Right.
So I'm trying to learn it on my own. If I had that skill, then life playing out however it plays out wouldn't cause, as Maria said, so much anxiety or distress in my own body.
Right. Thank you, Joe. That's exactly what I want us to look at is how do we learn this thing that we might not know how to do? Thank you for asking it. How do
Practice.
Yeah, we'll get to this, the answers and all the yumminess in a moment. Go ahead, Carol.
There is a wonderful book called Ladder to the Light that is written by an Episcopal bishop who is indigenous and has held on to the wisdom from the indigenous people. And he said there they were, walking the trail of tears, but still believing in their tradition, and they endured. And we have to have something bigger than ourselves that we believe in, that we hold on to, and that nobody can take away from us.
I love that. And you're getting applause, so it's got to be good. Thank you, Audrey, for making it visual. Let me also say, there are some people who are, during this service, sometimes you can see in their Zoom, they're folding laundry or doing dishes or whatever. I think that's fantastic. If, like, you don't have to sit and face the camera. If you have something else that you need to be doing while you're, I think you're all, you're all adults. You all know yourselves best in your learning styles and what makes you most comfortable. And if puttering makes you feel a little less anxious, please feel free to do that. I'm glad to have you. Rob, you have your hand up.
Just remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's break this down. How do I train myself to remain calm despite what's going on around me? Before we get to this question, let me tell you, I had this epiphany. So let me explain my epiphany that I had while sitting by the water. There's the little image of me sitting by the water. While I'm sitting by the water doing nothing, I have this epiphany of what this group is, what we're doing here. And tomorrow I have band practice. I joined the Rose City Pride Marching Band, and because Portland is Portland, we're doing July 16th is our big Pride Festival here in Portland. And as a lot of you know, I started playing the French horns when I turned 50, which was 3 years ago. And it's a rough instrument, and it has been kicking my ass. But the band, here's my analogy. I think this group of all of us, I think it's a band. I think it's a band, the same way that you can have a band of people. You don't necessarily need to be playing an instrument to be in the band. You can be in this band, and that in this band metaphor, I'm the band leader. And I say, hey, let's today talk about how to remain calm despite what's going on around. That's the tune we're going to be jamming on today. And I'm going to ask you, in the same way, we got back from our vacation last week, we got back yesterday from a week's long vacation, and I practiced my French horn. It was late. I didn't want to I could have put it off, but I needed to practice it because band rehearsal is tomorrow. It's the first live one that I will be able to have been to for a while, and I want to be able to. I want to be the best band player I can be in the French horn section because there are other people there, and I have to work on my stuff in order to make the band better. And I think that's kind of what this whole group is that we're all in the band together. We're all working it. And there was this quote from
Where's the music?
Voltaire. Hold on a sec. Voltaire said this, and it's a little dark, but bear with me. He said, "Life is a shipwreck, but we must not forget to sing in the lifeboats." Now, I'd love to have a little lighter of a analogy, but this is what it looks like to me: is life is a shipwreck. But hey, friend, would you join me in a volunteer lifeboat band? Would you join me and the group of
song you want to sing?
Yeah, the song I want to sing is any song that we all come up with, whatever it is. I want us to sing I want us to sing for the other people in the lifeboat, and I want us to sing for ourselves to remember that there's still joy. Sure, it doesn't all go the way we wish it would go, but that doesn't mean we give up. Part of being in the lifeboat band is saying there's still hope. There's still joy despite it all.
Well, I hope we all.
Oh, Rob, you cut out there. I missed the second half of what you said.
I hope we sing the same song, because if we don't, it'll just be cacophony.
And you know what? It might, our first few rehearsals on whatever tune we're playing, I bet they'll suck. Gloriously.
Cacophony it is.
Right? It will be a mess. The first time we all go to play something, trust me, I play the French horn in a marching band. French horn is not a marching instrument. It doesn't sound right. But the practice, and that's what we're getting to, is how do we train ourselves to remain calm despite what's going on around us, is imagine for a moment.
We must not forget to sing in the lifeboats.
We must not forget to sing in the lifeboats. Imagine for a moment. Just here goes magic pixie dust on the screen. Imagine for a moment we were all transported to this galactic, beautiful, shiny music room. And in the music room, there's a beautiful French horn for every single one of you. And I tell you, hey, this is what you're going to do, is you're going to pick up the French horn. You're going to put your right hand in the bell. You're going to put your left hand on the first three fingers on the keys, your thumb on the valve at the bottom, and you're going to put your lips to the instrument. What do you think the next thing you're going to want to do is?
Blow.
You're going to want to blow.
Wow.
And hey, folks, does anyone here think it's going to sound good?
No.
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 Anybody do
No.
But wait, stop for a moment. Notice, Rags, just the way you almost spit out your water when you said no. We all know.
I heard that happen.
we all know that it's going to be terrible, but we're not. It's our first at bat. It's our first time playing the French horn, and we know it's going to sound bad, and we're going to laugh about how bad it sounds. I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
How are we going to, let me bring this one back. How are we going to remain calm despite what's going on around me? let's start with that same exact analogy of, oh, it's going to go bad at first.
Well, just laugh.
It's easier to just laugh if we know what to expect. And what to expect is it's going to sound bad the first time that we try it. So we're going to do a little bit of review here. How do we remain calm despite what's going on around us? Well, folks, this has been a long time that we haven't done this, but let's try this again.
Just a quick question. Can I play a drum?
Oh, that's the greatest part about this volunteer lifeboat band. You can play any instrument you want, even if, or no instrument at all. You can be a full member of the band without ever singing. You're just part of the band. So let me bring us back to, this is the work of Lev Vygotsky. And this is how we learn. And the way we learn goes like this, is here's where we can do something perfectly without thinking.
That's the narrator.
How do we train ourselves to be calm despite what's going on around us? I don't think any of us are quite at level 5 yet. Level 1 is can't do it at all. Notice there are some numbers in between 1 and 5. 2, 3, and 4. Just like with the French horn, you're going to need a lot of hand holding at first. How do you remain calm despite what's going on around you? How do you remain calm when the Supreme Court is throwing back rights?
Throw them back wrongs.
Yeah. How do you remain calm when it seems like things are falling apart? Is you need support. We start with needing support. How do we do it? We start by needing support. And then, just like with the French horn, and I tell you, okay, now that you can make a noise, put your first 2 fingers down and put your thumb on the key at the bottom, and that's going to play you an A. You're going to do 2 fingers and your thumb, that's going to play you an A. And I'm going to have to tell you, is you're going to get somebody from the outside telling you, and it might be, how do you remain calm despite what's going on around? You might need Rob's voice to say, remember to breathe. That's a hint from the outside. Remember to laugh. That's a hint from the outside. Eventually, we get to a point where we can remind ourselves. How do we remain calm despite what's going on around us? Well, we need help. We need a little less help, and then, hey, I can talk myself off the cliff now. I can do it myself. This is a whole different stage from 3 to 4. It's going to take work.
How do you react?
Yes, Jack? I think that was you.
Yeah. How about working on trying not to be a slave to reaction?
Great. Yeah. So that's a hint from the outside. Jack just said, let us try not to be slaves to just reaction, to being robotic. Somebody comes at you that you're going to react exactly. Let's try not to. And then at a certain point we can say, hey, I remember that thing that Jack told me. And I can do that even without Jack here in the room. That's stage 4, hint from the inside. To get from 3 to 4, it's what you were saying, Emily. It takes practice. You're not going to just go from 1 to 5. How are we going to remain calm despite what's going on around us? Well, help. Asking for help. Getting some help.
Shmuley was raising his hand.
Go ahead, Shmuels.
Hi. Morning. My mother was a music teacher, at the Puerto Rico Conservatory here, and she would often tell her students, if somebody mocks you for not playing correctly, tell them to come forward and play.
Oh, that's a great idea, right? Somebody mocks you for not being perfect. Ask them how perfect they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do we remain calm despite what's going on around us? Go ahead, Carol.
I think we have to have a worldview that allows us to basically trust reality. And whether you want to call it a belief in God or a belief in nature or belief in the basic goodness of human beings, which I think gets challenged more than anything else. I think what's needed is not just these steps, but a basic perspective on reality.
So how do we remain calm despite what's going on around us? I love that. Maybe the first thing we need is a sense of surrender.
And I think the word surrender really makes people get tight. I think
it does. It's a terrible word. Give me a better word.
Embrace is much better than surrender.
Yes.
Embrace?
Yeah.
Embrace.
That's positive. Surrender isn't.
I think surrender.
I love life. Okay. And I'm not surrendering to life. I'm loving it.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to say the first measure of this tune we're playing, you have to have your own words for this, whatever step 0 is. But before we can remain calm, I'm a fan. I'm going to hold on. I like the idea of surrender. To me, surrender is this quote. Surrender is saying, I am not enough. Surrender is a horribly anti-patriotic word. But acceptance, we can all agree on an acceptance.
Yeah, acceptance.
Acceptance is cool.
Okay. Yeah. Pick the word as you like. But the first thing we need to do before we remain calm despite what's going on, how about this? We have a belief that it's possible.
What is possible?
That it is possible to find calm despite what's going on.
Yeah.
That we have a belief that other people have been able to do this, and we have a belief that we should be able to do this too. So step 1 is before we can't. It's a belief.
Well, unless you put your ego aside, you can't really truly surrender.
Right. That was this Tafur Abu Javiz al-Bastami quote. That's this. Just putting your ego aside. For years I would say, do this, give me that. When I reached the shores of wisdom, I said, God be mine and do what you want.
Can I say something? Just a quick thing?
Hi, Michael. Yeah.
Hi. Just, I would say a sense of reality. How do we stand, endure, understand, be open to a sense of reality?
Yeah.
What really happening here?
And how do we have it be not what it is that we want to happen, but we see that reality is it's not us.
Yeah, and a sense of reality really puts not the burden, but the responsibility of the individual to accept, to understand people are going to have others' senses of reality, but really have to push ourselves, really being a community that encourages each individual to do their own work without imposing their own point of view in the process.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Go ahead, Bruce, and then Joe.
Well, there is that Chinese symbol that I don't know if it's crisis or catastrophe or whatever it is, but it also means opportunity.
Right.
Right.
And so, you know, looking at things that happen that we don't expect or don't like, we can, you know, say like, aha, this is interesting. What can I learn from this?
Right. What a wonderful attitude to have. Well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
That's a great one. Maybe that's a hint from the outside. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that interesting? That's not the way I thought the eggs were supposed to be carried. Huh. Interesting. Go ahead, Joe.
So, a key point I think that needs to be addressed here is that most of us have lived many years on the planet, exposed to many teachers along the way. Okay. Hopefully, as I reach heading to a next birthday, right, I can do this better. But I think it's important to understand that every one of us has been trained differently from age 0 to where I am today. And based on my past training is how well I can incorporate what you're teaching today.
Okay.
Because my teachers did not teach me to do this at all. And so therefore it became my own responsibility at a much later age in life. And that affects greatly how I can do it today.
Yeah. It's how we grew up and how we... Who grew up in this being modeled well? Who grew up in a magical fairy land where the people who were their seniors said, "Oh, that's interesting. That's how that went. Oh, that's not how I was expecting it to go." And how many of you can think of a person in your life, that magical creature? In my life, it was named Uncle Ira, who had such a calm acceptance that I thought there must be something mentally wrong with him. Obviously, there was something touched with Uncle Ira because he was fine, seemingly, wherever he was. I think
maybe that's why we're all here today. It's because we do have that anchor somewhere.
We all have an idea. We've all seen it. This is something we're reaching towards. Acceptance. It's a beautiful idea.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, that's the end product.
Acceptance.
Yeah, ultimately,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask us to take a moment. Wherever you are, let's just take a little moment. Hey, hi. This moment. We're in reality. This acceptance. This is how it is. Is it perfect?
Sure is.
Possibly.
Wish it was.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, well, kids, no fighting in band practice. Different people have different music. That's how we get harmony. Some of us think that it is, some think it isn't. It's all right.
Everything is in perfect working.
And except when it's not. Everything's perfect except when it's not. Let's move ourselves along towards Maria. Do you have the ability to give us some prayer time?
I do. This is the list of names. Wayne in loving memory, Emily and family, Francis, Rita S., Ray and Patty, Andrew, April, Iggy, Sarah, Lorianne and kids, Rob B., Marilyn Wilson, the Cook family, Dominique McClure and her daughters, Carmela Wilson, Craig Lavielle in hospice, Viv, Sarah C., Kian and his family. If there is another person in our community we can offer light and love to, please put their name in the chat and I will add them to the list in the clubhouse. And for the people who aren't named, but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Thank you, Maria. I'm going to start a minute timer going now and ask us to keep all of these people in our thoughts. Thank you all. I have a few announcements to make today. This announcement, I missed it last week. It's okay not to be okay. Folks, that one's really important. It's okay not to be okay. How do you train yourself to remain calm despite what's going on around you? This button there. Other announcements. I wanted to make a special shout out to Lynn Kingston in New Hampshire, who's a new monthly donor to Religion Outside the Box. If you are not a regular donor to Religion Outside the Box, I ask you, please, please, that's how this thing works. Please keep contributions going. Think of it as band membership. You're in a band. There's this band practice. This is what helps our band go. If you don't have funds to give, we have other opportunities. For example, our friend James, who is in prison. If you haven't been following the story all along, I met James. He had the same Buddhist teacher that I had, but we have very different life circumstances. James is currently residing in Pelican Bay State Penitentiary in California. He runs self-help groups. He and I do the same work, just vastly differently. He is doing all the self-help work at Pelican Bay State Prison, and we are doing our best to support him. He is what Nagi referred to as a prison bodhisattva, which is somebody who is enlightened, who stays on an earthly plane to bring more people towards enlightenment. James runs self-help groups. Truly Redefine Yourself, TRY, Try is one of them that he started up in High Desert State Prison and is still going there now that he is bringing it. It's an amazing program. We have, and when I say we, I say I have, but I've obligated all of you as well. But you're free to do whatever it is you wish. I asked James what it would be that he would need to keep his programs running, and he said $300 of candy bars a month. That's what they trade in prison. Candy bars are currency. So if you have the funds to please be able to contribute so we can support him with that. And if you don't have the funds to do that, he also needs some things to be transcribed. They don't have typewriters in prison, and the people who do have typewriters charge an arm and a leg. So James has a bunch of people in a writing program, and they're writing things and they want to have those transcribed and typed up. If you have time to be able to be of that help, please put something into the chat so that I know, and I can get you some papers to type up from these people who are trying to write a book about coming to realize that they are not just their worst acts. Other things, we have a 12-step meeting for everyone. That's on. How do they best find you? Go to the clubhouse. This is a great thing. We now have a clubhouse. If you want to find out about the Shekinah group, the play that we're doing, go to rotb.org, find the clubhouse, and from the clubhouse you can find all the different forums that we're doing. And thank you again to Anne, who had to go under the hood of the car yet again to make the whole clubhouse work again. So please show your love to Anne for getting that to run. Other announcements that I'm forgetting about, I don't know because I'm forgetting about them. Okay. Other announcements that you guys have. Yeah, Candace.
Just a question in the chat. Somebody is asking, somebody was saying they could do the transcribing. How do they apply to do that?
Just put something in the chat, and then after the service, when I read through the chat afterwards, I will find you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I led this quote last week, and I wanted us to bring it back. Oh, no, I'm in two thoughts at the same time. This was a quote from last week. The proper response to the inevitable is relaxation. The proper response to the inevitable is relaxation. Any further thoughts on that?
Letting go.
It is letting go. I think it fits in a bit with this. How do I train myself to remain calm despite what's going on around me? I think this quote fits in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that has helped me is to realize at those times that my higher power loves me no matter what. And if my higher power loves me in every or any situation, I embrace the situation and I embrace myself.
I love that. I love that. Thanks, Shmuley. Yeah, Joe.
The one thing that's connecting for me right now is that Rags at one point said, live with your hands open. Always live with open hands. And so that goes back to the learning stages. If I hadn't heard Rags give me the support of that new lesson, I wouldn't be able to incorporate it myself. And so since I heard Rags say that, I've been practicing try to live life with open hands. So I just wanted to give Rags props for teaching me that.
So that's a wonderful. That was a hint from the outside. 3, how do I remain calm despite what's going on around me? I get the hint from the outside. Try living your life with your hands open. Try that for a second, would you? Put your hands open. And just for contrast, how about crossing your arms over? Can you feel the difference?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Want to do that.
Yeah. So let's stay open. Literally staying open. And we get the hint from the outside, which we turn into a hint from the inside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's one other thing on this stages of learning, and it's a really unfortunate thing, but I have to bring it back up. There is a thing that goes like this. Stress will make us move down a level.
Yeah.
So if you are at this point where you are, Joe, where you're giving yourself hints not to be closed off, but to stay open, but then stress comes in. So you're at number 4. You're doing great. Here I am. I'm at number 4. I can give myself hints. Look at me. I'm awesome. I'm giving myself hints to stay calm despite what's going on around me. Mm-hmm. And then something stressful happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We go down a level.
Mm-hmm.
You go from being able to give yourself hints to now, oh crap, you need hints from the outside, but you can't get those because you're stuck. We have to really work hard to get ourselves down in this realm where we no longer need the help from the outside. But being compassionate, that always works. Moving down a level. How do we remain calm despite what's going on? Shanti Deva, he said, an 8th century monk living in India. He said the following. He said, there is nothing that does not grow lighter through habit and familiarity. There is nothing that does not grow lighter. So everything gets easier from habit and familiarity. There is nothing that does not grow lighter through habit and familiarity. If I want to get really good at being an asshole, I'm going to keep practicing. If I want to get really good at beating myself up,
No. Yeah.
there's nothing that doesn't grow lighter. There's nothing that doesn't get easier. If I want to get really good at smoking cigarettes, I can do that. Everything gets easier through habit and familiarity. Taking it. So Shanti Deva's advice on how to remain calm is to practice with the easy things first.
Mm-hmm.
Practice with the bug that got into your room that you didn't want there. And if you can remain calm despite what's going on level bug, and just keep practicing at bug level until you're up to the car got a flat tire yesterday. If you can't handle a bug being in your room, I'm not sure you're going to be able to handle a flat tire.
Mm-hmm.
So practice with the easy things. Practice with, I don't know, your spouse who just said something annoying. Or practice with your doctor who just blew you off.
Mm-hmm.
Practice remaining calm despite what's going on around you with the easy things. And then maybe you'll get up to level Ray where you had your gallbladder taken out and you don't really seem to be fussing about that. Ray, that's a compliment for you, buddy. But we all can learn. Did we all not hear Ray talk?
Yeah. It's very calm. Yeah.
How do you train yourself to remain calm despite what's going on around you? Do you know how I'm getting better at my French horn in the marching band? Is I got Kim to my left side who's playing really well and helping me out.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ray. We have Shmuley. We have Carol. We have Joe. We have all these people who are going and struggling with the same hard notes that we're having a hard time. That's okay. I'm pushing the band analogy a little bit here. But if you can hear other people, yeah, Lexi, what you got?
Well, I was going to say in choir, we stagger breathing.
I don't know what that means.
To sustain a note, you stagger your breath so that the note holds on, but each person can drop out to take a quick breath. So then, so the audience doesn't notice, but within the choir, you're all supporting one another because you're just staggering your breath.
I love that.
Awesome. One thing that I'm learning, while reading the book "Living as Torah" by Carol Ox, is remember the story. You know, every time that in the Jewish community something was going wrong, like persecution and all that, they always remember the Exodus. We were really messed up, but our higher power helped us to go through. And I've been in situations that I thought that I would never get out, but guess what? I am here. I'm alive. I'm doing well.
And to remember the victories along the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I say one quick thing?
Go, Michael, go.
Very quick. I just want to reinforce what you said, Brian, in terms of of relying on each other for help. I want to take it another way of looking, that this is what makes this religious approach so meaningful, is that the only rule or covenant or commandment, if you wish, is mutual respect and understanding.
Amen.
This would make this a relevant religious structure here.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is unique in the history of liberal religion.
Well,
thank you. That's
thank you, Michael.
It's another level of affirmation for the group, I think.
I appreciate that. And folks, now that we've rebranded this as a band,
for now,
we're always in flux.
But maybe this serves as an easier way to tell people to come and join us. And they say, hey, where'd you get that? Why you seem a little calmer today? What's that about? Or, you're not giving unsolicited advice anymore. How's that happening? You say, well, I picked it up in band practice. And they say, what band practice? You know, you can't even carry a tune in a handbag. And you say, well, I'm in a fantastic band. I'm in a wonderful band, and it's filled with eclectic people, and we're all just trying to play a little bit of music to make this world a more harmonious place.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's kind of harmony.
so can we try that for homework? Invite somebody to band practice next week. We're going to do band practice next week. I'm going to keep the metaphor for at least another 7 days.
All right.
Joy, you have something you want to say. Go ahead.
Yes, I've had the most awful week.
I'm sorry.
I've got a rather nasty amount of flies in the house.
Oh.
I don't know whether it happens anywhere in Portland or anywhere in the States like this, but I had a sticky paper thing out, one of the ones that you get that you pull down, and I caught 30 one night and 20 the next.
Yeah.
And that is horrible.
That's horrible, Joy. And I hate to give you extra credit, but you seem to be getting extra practice.
I think I'm definitely getting extra practice because I haven't been eating properly because I couldn't stay in the kitchen long enough.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
So last night, a friend came. She bought me some more of these sticky papers as a present. And then we were talking. And I said, are you doing anything this evening? No. Why? I said, I just can't stand cooking in that kitchen. Could we go out and have a meal?
And?
We did.
I love it.
Yay!
And that really helped.
Joy, Joy, what you just did was so wonderful, was advocating for yourself and asking for what you needed. And I'm sure you would have been flexible had she had said no, but she said yes, and how wonderful. Wonderful.
And we went to one called, it's, what is it, the Great Rock. It's actually a Thai and Chinese restaurant. And I think we got the last table.
Well, I'm glad you did. Joy, you give us all the, so everyone, if you want for your band practice being like Joy a little bit and asking for what you need.
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, band practice resumes next week. Please practice your parts. I'm going to ask that next week we try to review How to Remain Calm, and we'll play that next week.
Right.
Everyone good with that?
Yep.
Take a wave towards each other. Say goodbye to the people who are watching live.